Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Serenity, and I'm going to be starting a podcast that I call The Peace Speaker. Because sometimes we all just need a little bit of peace in our life. We just don't know where to look. We don't know how to get it. I'm going to be bringing a series of episodes that I'm going to continue to be on, hopefully like twice a week, depending on my schedule because I have a hectic one, where I can help you kind of find your peace. You feel trapped in a struggle you just can't seem to get out of. Things don't go your way. It's like one hit after the other after the other. No matter what you do, you can't seem to find your peace in all of it. Then listen and subscribe to my podcasts and continue to come back, because I promise you, being around me long enough, you change. I tend to have an effect on people over a long period of times, and through, people listening to me, I help others. And the funny thing is a lot of the times I just talk about what I've gone through and how I've struggled and how I survived. And through that, I tend to come up with wisdom, because as I speak about it, I become my own therapist. It's actually pretty funny. So a little bit about me. If I ever get off track, I'm very, very sorry. I'm doing the best I can as far as recording, but I suffered a traumatic brain injury about 8 years ago, and I tend to have short-term memory loss. And no matter how much I write this down, I always seem to tend to get off a little off track. So if I do that, I'm very sorry. I'm going to try to stick to a script and try to go in order. And if for any reason I miss anything, just leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you the best that I can. But I want to start by saying struggling is not easy. It's necessary, though. You may not understand it or see it, and you always see things as always going wrong for you, and you just can't seem to get a hold on it or figure it out. A lot of the times, though, what you're going through is either self-created. Somehow you created the struggle without knowing it. We tend to do that quite a bit. And then there's struggles that God puts you in for a lesson that you need to learn. Say, for instance, you have no money and you're really, really hurting on money, yet you know deep down inside you have a problem managing money, yet you keep figuring why you can't get out of what you're getting out of, and it's painful. Well, of course it's painful, because you're trying to be taught that you do have a problem. A lot of the stuff that hold us back are just stuff we can't even, we can't admit to ourselves. We deny it to ourselves. A lot of my pain and my struggles that I have been through, a lot of them were self-inflicted. I always kind of created my problem because I never thought I was good enough. I never thought that I myself could be anything, through years and years and years of people putting me down. And in reality, I'm actually a quite intelligent person. I have great ideas that lately they've been flowing out of me. I don't know. The more I believe in myself, the easier they are to come out. I'm stepping outside of my boundaries and doing things I never thought I would. But less than 2 years ago, I was the type of person that was afraid to leave my own house. I was afraid that I was going to die, something horrific, or that I'll never amount to anything. One part of what I went through and how I became and found my true peace is because I found God. But I'm not going to be in a religious way, because the one thing I do not believe in is spouting religion. That's the last thing I ever want. What I'm trying to say is that I learned something about who He is. And God is love. The general act of giving love is a sign of who God is. And love is infectious. So no matter how bad somebody's having, one little bit of love can get them out of that. That's why in the Bible it always says to, treat thy neighbor as if thy own, I'm still learning the Bible, so just bear with me on that. But do unto others as you had done unto you. And I understand that now, because just the simplest act of love to the person who hates you can change things around. You don't understand why people are the way they are. You can't understand why they are the way they are, because you only see a 1% of their life. You don't see the other 99% of what they go through to create who they are. You always have to remember, people are not who they are. They are their circumstances. And if you didn't grow up in an abusive family, you may not understand why that person picks on other people. Or if you didn't grow up in a drug-addicted family, then you wouldn't understand the addict down the road. You don't understand the pain and why they act the way they do, and all you tend to do is judge them for who they are without knowing deep down inside who they truly are. You don't. And your judgment actually makes things worse. If I'm somebody going through a horrible time where I slip into a deep, dark abyss of drinking and drugs and I can't get out of it, the last thing I need is someone to point a finger at me and tell me I'm a screw up. That kind of helps me to condemn myself. No, what I needed at my time was someone to put their hand out and say, look, I understand what you're going through. I've been there, and guess what? I've survived. Because in that, regardless, it's going to take forever for anybody to get out of a tough struggle, especially with addiction. Addiction is the worst thing imaginable because you get stuck like a force that holds you down in ways you can't control. Again, I think I'm off subject. I'm trying to follow my notes the best that I can. And if I mess up a little bit, I'm sorry. I will definitely try to do better for next time. I want to try to help you guys bring peace. And to bring peace to yourself, it starts within. And there's a couple things that I did through my process of finding God. And I'm not trying to spout, again, any type of religion. I'm trying to tell you to find your higher self. Connect with a thing that is higher than you, because when you connect with something that's higher than yourself, you tend to become selfless. And in the midst of becoming selfless, you remove labels because you don't care what people think anymore. You learn to love who you are. And when you love who you are, you get this peace that fills up inside of you that it's not an empty fill, like when I'm sad and I want to go buy food and I just fill myself with food and then I regret it afterwards. It's not that thing. It's not something that you can buy. It's something that you have to release to get. It's something that you have to give up to get. And it's hard to explain, but inner peace, there's a feeling like I've never felt before, but sometimes it's the hardest thing to keep because I have a tendency to go back to my old ways, which I'm slowly learning and I'm getting better. But the one thing that I did through the beginning process is I did I am affirmations. I don't know if you guys ever heard of an I am affirmation, but it is where you declare what you are, what you want to be. It's like the law of attraction. Where your focus goes, energy flows. So I started with I am affirmations. And the problem is when you're in a state where you're hateful and guilty and fearful of everything, you might put on a smiley face, but we know deep down inside that's not how you feel. We know that you fear that you're going to screw up somewhere, or someone's not going to like you, or this person's not going to like your photo, or you just don't want to tell anybody. And of course you don't want to tell anybody, because if you told somebody, then it would start to be fixed, and your body can't have that. You're at a spiritual war, whether you know it or not, between a flesh and a spirit. It's like when you know you shouldn't do it, but there's this part of you that says, do it. And that's the two parts of you. The I am affirmations gives the good side of you more power. So write a list. Get a list, piece of paper. I'm a very visual person, so I do graphics. I like to create a poster that says I am, and I have all the different things on there, and then I put up in the mirror. And the reason why I'm telling you to do this is because if you just go out there and say, okay, I'm going to do I am affirmations. Okay, I will remind myself at this time to do it, or I'll do it tomorrow. You're never going to do it. Now, my process of which to do it actually kind of tricks your body into do it, kind of like a fake it till you make it type thing. So create you an I am affirmation. So I am beautiful. I am strong. I am well able. I am going to get this job. I am going to lose this weight. I am free. I am happy. Actually, don't say I'm going, because when you imply going, that means you possibly might start. So don't use the word going. So I am free. I am strength. I am well able to get this job. I am strong and fit to do such and such. You see what I'm saying? If you can't come up with ideas, there's this great thing online called Google. Google great I am affirmations and create a poster. Now, if you're like me, go all out, use colors, because there's actually a funny thing in that the more color that you use, the more your brain is susceptible to the message. So if you're really down in the dumps, depressed, make a very, very, very colorful picture. And you can look this up. There is a study done that colors activate the front part of your brain. They stimulate that part. Well, did you know this? That when you pray to God, believe in God, or speak to God, you literally, the front part of your brain lights up. So do colors. Great affirmation in colors, because literally what you're doing is you're paving the way for your brain to believe these great ideas. And once you start to believe these great ideas, you'll start to notice the change. Your confidence will change. So great. You get your paper, right? And do 5, do 1. I mean, literally, even if you have to start with 1, you'll notice the change after a while. So make your poster, you write all your I am affirmations down, decorate it, put some colors. Now, this is what you do. You all following? I hope you are. You take that paper and you put it in the mirror of your bathroom window. Now, if you're not good at telling yourself how beautiful you are, if you're really deep down and depressed, and this is what you have to do. You have to force yourself into a rhythm. So every morning when you get up, you look in that mirror and you just read it. Read it as if it's a script. You don't have to mean it, because I didn't mean it the first couple times, so the first month or 2 or 3. It took me a while to do it. You don't have to mean it. Just read it. Just read it. Your words have more power over your life than you could ever imagine. And I don't care if you believe me or not, but just try this one thing, and I guarantee in a month, you'll see something different. You'll notice something different. You'll feel different. You'll act different. Change them every week, or keep one the same until you feel comfortable on moving on to another. So create your posters. You put them in your mirror, and in the morning, read them. If you want to do another one at night, put it by your bed. Read them at night. Things that you want to prosper from, I am able to bring money into my life. I am a good parent, or I am, you see what I'm saying? Look them up. There's tons of them. There is a way to find inner peace. And the thing is it's not a quick fix. You don't find inner peace overnight. It's a struggle. It's painful. It's a journey. But if you want to find something that you've never had before, then you have to take your first steps to finding peace. Take your first steps. The first steps to finding peace is to find yourself. Stop watching TV, because in all honesty, you kind of get stuck in a world that's not even real. You're stuck in a fantasy, something you wish would happen. And the only time you feel happiness is when you watch that show. Well, I'm telling you, you can have that happiness without that show, period. You can find it. You got to cut that out, and you have to start to find what makes you happy. The stuff that brings you satisfaction and happiness. And it's not something that comes from outside. It comes from inside. It comes from starting to love yourself first. And there's one prayer that you learn everywhere, and I really believe that it's one of the things that helped me, and that is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. The funny thing is if it's happened, it's happened. You can't change it. Don't fret and don't hold on to stuff you can't change, because you'll never find your peace that way. You'll get stuck in a perpetual state of unhappiness because you're upset about something there's nothing you can do about. If you want to move forward, you have to let go of the past. You need to have courage to change things that you can. You have to just do it. Stick it to the man. Get up. Do something different. Have belief in who you are, and know that you are well-abled, and stop allowing what people say about you to hold you back. So what if they don't like what you do? So what if they say you're not good enough? Do you know, my art is amazing. My art is beautiful. I'm not going to brag. Yeah, I'm going to brag a little. But my whole entire life, I never had that ability. I never had that strength. I didn't have people to tell me that. Actually, I had people tell me that it's childish, that it's not good enough. And the one thing I've had a lot of people tell me about is it's never going to get me anywhere in life. My art is beautiful. And my art has changed my life. So right there, that's priceless to me. You can make a difference. And it only takes one person to make a difference in this world. One person to change things. The thing is, are you that person? You know what? You are that person. You hold the secrets to change and become so many things, but you limit yourself on what you think you can't do. oh, I can't do it, so why am I going to even try? Do you know if you just started thinking, you know what, I can do that. No matter how hard it gets, work for it. Work hard for it. You can do it. You have so much strength in you, so much knowledge in you. If you would just stop trying to hold yourself up to other people's standards, because other people's standards are not who you are. You are so much more than that. If you have a passion for it, if it's something that you just, when you do it, it takes everything away, and you want to learn more and you want to figure out how to do this, even though you think it cannot produce you money, don't ever let anybody tell you that it can't. Because if you love something enough, if you're passionate enough about it, there's nothing that's going to stop you. The only thing stopping you is you. Stop trying to find happiness in what other people do. You'll never find it there. In fact, the reason why I tell people that they need to find themselves, they need to disconnect from things, they need to start doing the things that they want, is because you're never going to find true peace until you learn to let go of what others have. Find your own niche. Find your own way. Be you, because you are perfect in every single way. Yes, you. I'm talking to you, and you, and you, and you. You are all perfect. You matter to such a level that is incredibly crazy. And where I came from, I can say that because I came from nothing. I came from parents that didn't love me. Well, a father that didn't love me. Well, I don't know. Just the way he acted, he did not give me the loving that I needed. And a mother who was not a mother. Like, she did not teach me how to be a mom. And even to this day, I still struggle because I have no structure. I have no discipline. But I'm slowly working through that, and I'm slowly learning at my pace. I accept the fact that this is who I am. And I accept that I'm perfect in every way, and because of that, my stuff evolves. I'm doing this podcast, and I'm not too bad at it, I hope. You gotta let me know, comments. You have the power to be who you want to be by believing in who you are. The power lies in the belief. It takes one step to move forward. No matter how many steps you go back, you're still going to move higher than you were before. Change your view of where you are and change your perspective on what you're going through, and stop seeing things from your point of view. The biggest tip I can give you is that it's not about you. It's about the love that you have to offer for others. That's where your peace starts. Well, I'm not going to keep you up too much longer. It's already getting late, guys. And I don't want to run them long because, this is my first ever podcast. And this is like the 4th or 5th time I've recorded this. So I'm not doing too bad. And I really don't think I have to do too many edits. We'll see how it goes next time. Maybe even better. Check back next time. My next episode is going to be... No, I don't know. I will let you know. I'll have to come back to that again. This has been Serenity, your peace speaker. Now believe in who you are to become what you believe. It's time. Your move.